Hey class, this is Dan, here to talk about kick off our week 5 discussion. So what did you think about the two TED Talks this week? I think those are excellent. You know, the curly fry conundrum and the filter bubble discussion. So what's the common? I was thinking, what's the common element between these two TED Talks? To me, a very common element is your personal data, right? As far as what you're searching on, and then, online, what you're searching, what sites you're visiting, how you're using the internet or using your applications, and then what's happening with that data, right? Who's using it and what are they using it for? Like this week's discussion to revolve around, should this data be captured and used by companies? And for the most part, I will say that it's not on a personal level. It's more of an aggregate level. Actually, on the personal level, targeted advertising can come back to you, and that's the difference between two-way communication, where digital has a real value with customers. But there's what should be, right? And then there's what is, right? I think there's far too much money in the sale of this data to, say, marketers, advertisers, that sort of thing, that want to have more effective, cost-effective advertising. They want to target, just like the curly fry conundrum. That was pretty interesting. How Target was sending baby coupons and flyers and all that to the girl, based on indicators. And this data is very real, and this is what we call big data. There's just reams and reams of data being collected, and it's used to define trends and infer. In the curly fry conundrum video, scientists don't want to infer; they want to change behavior. That's interesting. I just think that companies are out to, hey, if I can get an advantage, make some money, or even sell this data, well, that's a great thing. And the suggestion of creating a company that infers information and can sell this information to HR companies to basically describe a person's profile based on what they're doing online is. If it's not being done today already, I'm sure someone will pick that up. So, anyway, I think this is a very serious topic. That filter bubble is also super important because we want to be objective. We want to look at both sides of the story, and I think what's happening. We can talk about the political environment. I think with the use of these filter bubbles, if I'm a very far-leaning right or far-leaning left political person, and I'm all about my cause, or I'm all about my way of thinking, I'm very likely to be reviewing information and websites and other pieces of content that think the way I do. And so the more I click on those types of, that content that revolves around my way of thinking, well, guess what? On your searches, the more you get back. So you keep attracting more and more of what you are already thinking about or what you're clicking on. And so you get a very homogeneous view. And so then when question is like, well, how can you possibly think that way, whatever that way may be? The answer is, well, everyone thinks this way, don't they? Because that's my world. and I think that's where the danger is in all this. I think the Eli Parser is absolutely correct. We need to have the settings on our searches to say, listen, I want full and complete. I do not want to be filtered. I want this. Don't help me. I want, come throw it at me as what's out there, or I want an equal balance of choice. If they can do a filter bubble, they can also level the playing field or make the information impartial. So I don't know. That's sort of on my soapbox about it. Anyway, I'd like to hear your take on both of these. This is a great discussion. Should be a great discussion for this week, and I look forward to seeing you online. Take care.